having volatile economies, that we are kind of used to keep in mind another fiat currency to kind of safeguard yourself from volatility. That's something that is kind of in our DNA.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Bitfinex Talks. I'm your host, Ricardo Martinez, and today I am very, very happy to be joined by Alberto, who is a business development team member at WERT.io. Alberto, how are you? Thanks for coming
Hey,
on the show.
Ricardo, thanks for having me. Very nice to be here. I'm good. A little bit cold here in Argentina now, but I'm good.
Right now, I'm in Colombia, and the weather is actually very nice today, but we've been having a lot of rain, and it's been cold here, but today we have some sun. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I'm just coming from El Salvador. We spent a month in El Salvador, and it was like a beautiful weather every day. Yeah, a little bit rainy maybe in the nights, but it was beautiful during the days.
yeah,
And
I love
now
El
here it's
Salvador.
like cold.
Well, back to reality, I guess.
Yeah.
Alberto, for those that are not familiar with WERT, how would you explain it?
Yeah, well, WERT is a fiat on ramping service or tool for Web2 and Web3 users be able to pay with credit and debit card, whatever on-chain transaction. One of the special advantages that we have at WERT is that we provide the liquidity on-chain, so every settlement is instant. You don't have to wait for any fiat handling and days and stuff like that at banks. So yeah, we pretty much trying to bridge um, yeah, like the demands of still the Web2 economy to whatever is happening on chain, making it super easy and available to onboard new users and bring new sources of capital to this ecosystem.
You mentioned you just spent a month in El Salvador. Is WERT an El Salvador based company?
So Vert participated in the ex founders bootcamp in last season that was in
Oh, okay.
Bali. And now we were invited, the participants of last season, to come as alumni this season that was in El Salvador. So it was like a very interesting experience being in El Salvador, not only as part of this, let's say, crypto entrepreneurship bootcamp, but also understanding how friendly and open is the institutional side of El Salvador to actually welcome every idea and development that the world has to offer to this country. So it's amazing. It was a very good experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I actually, before I interviewed you today, a couple weeks ago, I interviewed Nelson, who is the host
Yeah.
of X Founders, and he was telling me all about it. It sounds very, very exciting. I caught some of the episodes of the reality show in Bali. Uh, I assume you were in the show. I haven't watched
Yeah.
them all yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bali was super interesting because, for me at least, coming from Latin America, it was going to the other side of the world to do this, you know, um, accelerator program, but you're not really sure what to expect, out of these kind of experiences. And Bali was amazing. I mean, the place is, of course, beautiful,
Mhm.
but we got to work not only on, Vert and the other startups, but we got to work on us as people, as humans, and that created an amazing connection that I think sometimes it's kind of rare to find in these maybe technological or financial focus industries. So I think it provides a very good experience, not only for networking and businesses, but actually as a kind of personal development. It was very nice. And now in El Salvador, it was like a total different twist because in Bali you're kind of secluded, you're doing your own thing, maybe doing yoga, meditating. But in Salvador, it's like every day meeting people, and they actually, the builders and the
Mhm.
lawmakers and everybody that was like trying to push Bitcoin and crypto and Web3 blockchain to this country as a means of development, as an opportunity. And that's the thing that we see in Latin America with these technologies. It's not only about, yeah, invest or save money or bank the unbanked. is finally an opportunity. And I think El Salvador is seizing that, and it's amazing what they're doing. And I think how they treat you as a person that is interested to come to El Salvador and see what can we help with.
Yeah, they really do roll out the red carpet for people that want to visit and potentially build. Um, how different was your experience in El Salvador compared to, I guess, Argentina, where you're from?
Well, I'm from Venezuela, but I
Ah,
live
okay.
in Argentina, so I have like all the CV to tell you why crypto is necessary in Latin America. I mean, everybody kind of knows the story about Venezuela. It's a pretty much failed economy. The bolivar went to zero, and well, what better argument to actually think outside of the normal or the traditional monetary system? And that was Bitcoin, and well, that changed my life. But coming to your question, like more recent years or the current situation in these countries, Argentina is also a perfect place, ground zero for crypto adoption. And actually, there's a lot of talent here. There's a very interesting ecosystem of startups, builders, developers, entrepreneurs. And in Argentina, it feels, well, at least in Buenos Aires, I would say it feels a big presence of crypto in general. And I think it's been a long time since, from Bitcoin to now, let's call it Web3. A lot of communities and projects and ecosystem have come to do a push in Argentina. I think there was a moment that I would say the local community, us crypto people that are just living in Argentina, with the change of the president, and like everything, it was kind of a new trend to bet on technology
Mhm.
to bring qualitative change to the country. And last year, I remember that many projects came to the country to push, to try to maybe do something as El Salvador did, but more broad or open to like all kind of blockchains and technologies in Web3. But
Okay.
it is so different when you can tell that there's an institutional friendliness or push than what is just from the private sector, or let's say bottom up. In El Salvador, of course, there's a lot of challenges. It's a country that is jumping a huge leap of development in how they do things, technology integration and all of that. Argentina probably has a better um, base or lay ground for that, but there's no real agenda from the government to try to push it as El Salvador has done it. So you really can tell how it feels sometimes that everything that crypto has to offer still is just taken here in Argentina as, well, maybe this is interesting, maybe this is an opportunity, maybe this is an alternative. In El Salvador, I think it is the agenda. Like, hey, this maybe we don't really get it right now, or maybe it's still a path for real adoption all over the place, but we believe in that. So they are, you know, building and setting, configuring everything on the country to make that a reality. And you can tell that like it's a lot. What you feel as a builder that you can do. Like, oh, now it's not only like trying to figure the market, it's also trying to figure all the benefits that this system or these institutions are trying to, lay down for you.
That's an interesting perspective. Uh, I remember when President Milei first came into power in Argentina, he was making some comments about being pro Bitcoin. I remember there was like a law he passed that allowed like Bitcoin companies to register and get licenses, and he even had like a meeting with President Bukele from El Salvador.
Yeah.
Um, would you say that Argentina's like pursuit of Bitcoin and crypto adoption has maybe not been so progressive as El Salvador's?
Well, we're gonna talk. We're gonna take a little bit of controversy to be able to answer this because
Okay.
I think there's a change on how fast things were going since the Libra thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, So, for the people that maybe don't know, this is a very long story short. But pretty much out of nowhere, President Milei tweeted something about, "Hey, let's I like this project Libra token," and then nobody knew what was the Libra token, and then they just took it down, and in the middle, people invested. So yeah, it was kind of a disaster. Nobody can really answer what happened. What the president said, "Hey, my team pretty much gave me this. We weren't aware of what really was," and the thing is like, yeah, it's kind of like a miss opportunity,
Okay.
everybody that was someone important in Web3 tried to meet Milei, or at least the government. They all came to Argentina. A lot of people actually invested. There's a lot of initiatives here, like big conferences. This year we have DEF Connect, we have La BitConf, we have many others like happening in Argentina. So the crypto world was already paying attention and looking.
Mhm.
And I don't know what really happened, but we kind of missed that chance, I think. Instead of taking all that interest, maybe I don't know if the government wasn't prepared or they were just focused on something different. But yeah, after that, I haven't really seen too much of the conversation, back. But maybe it's something to, let's just keep the waters cool for a while, and probably now in November that all these conferences are coming. I think maybe a trend can be activated. But yeah, the difference is just that there in El Salvador, it's very clear that at least Bitcoin as technology and means, from a different uh, monetary system and way to have freedom, if you will,
Yes.
is a clear path of development and how the country wants to be perceived, and all the initiatives that they have to welcome uh, people like us. In Argentina, still feels like, hey, yeah, this is a great market because adoption is huge. You will see here all kind of people using crypto because, well, it's a easier way to have dollars through stable coins, or is an easier way to maybe save money, having that little risk investment on Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. So it is great for us as builders to try to tap adoption, to find users, builders, developers. Argentina is great for that. But to become the crypto country, I think we need to see a little bit more of interest from the institutions, the big institutions, because Argentina is a big country. That's the thing. You
Yeah,
really need
that's the
to
thing. El
catch
Salvador is
the
very, very
attention of
small.
very big players.
Yeah, in comparison, El Salvador is very, very small compared to Argentina. Um,
Yeah.
I want to kind of change the subject here. You mentioned that you're from Venezuela, and we all know about Venezuela's economic situation, and then also Argentina is like just very, very recently starting to turn around a similar economic crisis. Could you kind of describe like whatever parallels you witnessed between both Venezuela and Argentina, and then differences as well?
Yeah. Well, um, all Latin America, I think,
Mhm.
will share some sort of, um, let's say, cultural ideologies or these, certain historical points that are very similar between each other.
Mhm.
So, you know, having volatile economies, that we are kind of used to keep in mind another fiat currency to kind of safeguard yourself from volatility. That's something that is kind of in our DNA. So it's
Yeah.
very easy to trace the similarities in those kind of aspects. Now, of course, The difference are, I will say how I perceive that the drive for adoption of crypto and blockchain technology in general. I think in Venezuela was kind of like a survival thing, like,
Mhm.
oh, we have no way to communicate ourselves. Like the banks in Venezuela
Like we
weren't,
need these tools.
yeah, weren't communicating to the outside world. So if you wanted to travel or just leave the country or try to work outside and help your family still in Venezuela, those channels for us didn't exist. And that's how, crypto became the answer for many, many things. Now, I will say that in Argentina, even though that they have the same drives, because maybe it's a little bit more techy country and a little bit bigger, financially speaking.
Mhm.
um, I think easily got one of the best communities of real talented people developing all kind of things in crypto and blockchain in general. So Argentina became kind of like a hub, for real development of this industry and this technology. And you can see that in the history, like, oh, this is the founder of this and this is the founder of that, and they wrote that protocol and they wrote that tech stack. And I think Argentina kind of sees the wave of the technical evolution, and that kind of created a very well platform for what you see today. That is a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of technical people that have done incredible things all over the world, but living here in Argentina. And and yeah, again, this feels like, of course, with the difference, and excuse me, but like a mini Silicon Valley for crypto in LATAM, you know.
Yeah.
So you have a great ecosystem with all kind of um, things that you need in the ecosystem. Not only users, but you also have, some
Infrastructure.
angels and infrastructure and funds and that kind of stuff. So Argentina, it has something that I really like, that always wants to compete in the world, and be number one, not only in football, but also in tech or crypto, this kind of stuff. So I think that's one of the main difference. But now, if you allow me, it's interesting how in both places, it feels like it's I don't know if to call it Web 2, but let's say like a more traditional people is the one that is now saying, hey, I need to get in and I need to get in fast and I need to like do everything. And that's one of the things that we see, at least at Vert, being this bridge to connect people that wants to buy with credit card and debit cards, stuff on chain. Of course, that is not the people that you will see on Telegram and Crypto X and all that kind of stuff. These are people that are just like, hey, I know that I'm late, or well, they feel kind of late, and they just want to come in all the different things that people have tell them, or maybe seen on the internet, and they just want to do it with a credit card because that's the easy way. And finally, in Web3, we have the rails to make that transition easily and friendly and not such a, you know, painful tech educational transition for many people.
With Argentina and the situation with the banks and the currency crisis, um, like are people do people have debit cards like for the most part, or are they mostly unbanked like we've seen in other countries in Latin America?
So, of course, with the quarantine, with the pandemic, the
Yeah.
adoption of virtual wallets was exponential here. So
Okay.
everybody kind of tried to tap into the market. We saw, for example, many non-custodial crypto wallets coming to Argentina or being developed here. We saw exchanges launching a debit card that can be used with the cryptos. So that was a huge success. Like that was
Mm.
the biggest success of the pandemic, putting crypto in the hands of people, but making them to spend it as easy as they've been used it forever. And I mean, I think that was one of the fastest growth, I think, at least in that year. uh, Here in Argentina, you will see like a lot of people using different wallets, some fiat, some hybrids, and some fully crypto, but all of them today at least share the easiness to be spend these cryptos with a debit card, Visa, MasterCard, or whatever,
Yeah.
or QR codes. And even for like public transportation, like that, those base layer rails now work so well that people might be using crypto, they don't even know it.
Yeah, I could see that for sure, especially with like the hybridization of fintech apps, like merging stable coins and stuff into them. Is WERT more of a retail focused service, or do you guys also have like B2B and like institutional services?
Yeah, actually, we are B2B. We
Oh, okay.
provide the technology. So, whatever project that, hey, I need to make my NFTs or my tokens or whatever thing that I want to, make the user do, I want to make it able that they can top it or do it with their credit or debit card or Apple Pay. So we are that technology. We pretty much provide an SDK, an iframe that you can embed on your website, and people can just come and spend with fiat whatever on chain that you need. This can be automatically triggering a smart contract. For example,
Mhm.
we have the NFT checkout, and the interesting thing is like when the end user is pressing to buy with credit card, they are triggering a smart contract automatically that is either minting or distributing or whatever. And we provide the liquidity, so this process, it will take just seconds. It's not like, hey, let me wait until my bank approve this. No. And and this year, last year and this year, we have seen a huge increment on this. It's interesting how we see now many projects just coming to us because they realize that there's always a percentage of newcomers that you are missing to onboard them if you don't have these kind of tools. Because a lot of people is excited, hey, yeah, I want to stake, I want to buy, I want to. A lot of people are asking about meme coins. Okay, that's the riskiest thing that you can do. But if they're excited about that, how they get there, if you explain MetaMask to a newcomer for the first time, it's going to be overwhelming.
Yeah, I
So
would agree.
having these kind of integrations are not only making projects to bring more users and capital, but it's also making it much easier for ecosystem, for new blockchains to actually have transaction volume that is not the money that is already in the chain or in the ecosystem. It's like bringing new money to it. And we have seen that growth this year. We are integrating many new blockchains, and it's interesting how you see um, still volume coming to new projects because people are just wanted to get into this thing called Web3, just using a credit card or Apple Pay.
And you mentioned integrating new chains and stuff like that, but what chains are you guys currently using to offer your services?
Oof. Well, a lot of the EVMs, if not
Okay,
all.
too many to list.
Um, Yeah, yeah. So EVMs, Ethereum, Polygon, Base, all of that, Bitcoin, Ton, Solana, Tezos. Yeah, of course I'm gonna miss a
Yeah,
few
no,
ones.
no.
We have a big list, but yeah, every other month we are bringing new blockchains. Um, we have this. Uh, so so lately we're not like actually thinking, oh, which blockchain we should just integrate. The good thing is that we're having a lot of talks with blockchains that are coming to us saying, hey,
Yeah.
we want to make it easier for people to use our dapps. Can we do it? And it's like, okay, cool, now let's talk, and let's do um, a dev bond model to integrate this blockchain and bring volume, and maybe like try to support new projects within that blockchain. So that's happening a lot. And again, I kind of feel a little bit outside of, the price and the market, because people like this week, for example, this weekend, hey, what's happening with Bitcoin? Are we going down? And not paying attention to the price, but just what we do every day,
Yeah.
it feels so bullish. I mean, I've been in this industry since 2013. And a month
Wow, you
ago,
got here
I was
early.
talking with the vice president of the Congress or the Ministry of Economy of a country, asking us, hey, what can we do to bring more of you guys? And I mean, if that's not bullish, if not, it's not telling you that, this technology is like the internet. It's not something that I see that can end. Yeah, it can go up and down and can have crashes, and we're gonna test the edges of what we can do with this. And sometimes, yeah, we're gonna have certain mistakes, but it's kind of like when you open a door and you cannot close it back, you know? Maybe
Yeah.
with the Pandora box, maybe this is the same with the AI, but you're just going to see with time more and more adoption and development. And I don't think this is something, I mean, of course, we're gonna have probably bear cycles and bullish cycles, but I don't think that it's going to be again the fear that, oh, maybe we're going to get censored worldwide, or we're going to be
Or
persecuted.
Bitcoin's gonna die, or
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I come from in Venezuela
Mhm.
until 20, I don't know, 2017. Literally, it was illegal to talk and to do stuff with Bitcoin. Like if you were a miner, if you were, I don't know, exchanging Bitcoin for fiat, you were a person that was doing something illegal according to the Venezuelan government. And now I can tell you that Venezuela has huge volumes of trading of Bitcoin because it is the government one of the main players using Bitcoin in the country. So, again, just it takes time, but it is amazing what is happening. And I don't think that we're going ever back.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100% on that. My final question is: let's say I'm a builder in Web3 and I have a project and I come to WERT. What kind of services like would you offer me?
So it's pretty much, hey, do you need Fiat on ramping? Take
Mhm.
this iframe and you can connect it to whatever flow you want. Our technology is super simple, but super capable because you can connect it to whatever flow you need. Again, if you need to do just fiat on ramping, you can do it. You can use APIs, webhooks, whatever you want. But if you want to, have a more complex, a robust user flow that is using smart contracts, you can have that as well. Again, having the certainty that this process will always take, seconds, and you will provide a very good user experience, because that's what we are trying to do in the back. Make your business, making your selling flow the easiest to the web 2 and maybe the web 3 that are just lazy and want to pay with credit card.
Make it as seamless as possible. All right. Um, for those that don't know how to get in contact with you guys, can you give like the website, your social media, and any other pertinent links or information?
Yeah, it's very easy. It's vert.io. It's spelled WERT.io. You will see in our website very big try vert. That's a demo. You can try how it works. And if not, there's a big button that says contact us, and you will get right away to write us a message or even book a call. So yeah, just come, give us a message, and we will be gladly to have a call with you and explain everything that we can do with you.
Is there any final comments that you want to leave the audience with before we close out the interview?
Well, I just might say that thank you so much for having me here. It is amazing what Bitfinex is doing. I felt the big presence of Bitfinex in El Salvador. I can tell how you have an amazing team over there. Um, And well, in the very recent news, at Vert, we are integrating the new stable coins that are MiCA compliant, that are coming from Bitfinex, the Quantus and the
Amazing.
Stabler stable coins. So that's very amazing. Again, see, every time that you think, oh no, what is happening? This is the end of the world. It's very easy to roll up an answer. And now, we have a new market, we have new opportunities. And I think this is a very interesting cycle that we're living. So yeah, I feel bullish. Thank
Me
you so
too.
much, Ricardo.
Thank you, Alberto. It was a pleasure to interview you, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on the show and talk about WERT with us.
Thank you so much, man.